Welcome back, treasure hunters and coin lovers. You're about to discover the hidden gold sitting right in your pocket. On this channel, we uncover the rarest, most valuable coins that could change your fortune overnight. From overlooked top 4 United States of America coins to secret the first up the 2015 Saratoga National Historical Park quarter, which commemorates the British surrender at Saratoga in 1777 during the Revolutionary War. This coin has captured the attention of collectors worldwide, and some examples have sold for jaw-dropping prices depending on their condition, rarity, and striking errors. So sit back, relax, and let's dive deep into the story behind this quarter. What makes it so special, and why it could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars if you happen to have the right one sitting in your pocket change or coin jar. The 2015 Saratoga quarter is part of the America the Beautiful series, a special set of quarters released by the United States Mint from 2010 through 2021. Each coin in this series highlights a national park or historic site, and the Saratoga design honors a key moment in American history, the surrender of British General John Burgoyne to American General Horatio Gates, which marked a turning point in the Revolutionary War. The design on the reverse of this quarter beautifully captures this event, showing two hands passing a sword hilt, symbolizing the surrender. Above the image are the words Saratoga and the date 1777, while below is the inscription British Surrender. For collectors and history enthusiasts alike, this coin is a reminder of one of the most important victories that helped secure America's independence now. What makes this quarter potentially so valuable is not just the design, but the condition and unique features certain coins might have. Regular circulated Saratoga quarters are worth their face value of 25 cents, but when you find one in mint state condition, meaning it has no wear, full luster, and perfect details, the price can climb quickly. Some high-grade examples have been graded MS-67 or MS-68 by professional grading services like PCGS and NGC, and those coins can sell for $150 to $400 or more, depending on demand. But the real excitement comes from rare varieties and errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or coins with missing clad layers. These error coins are extremely rare, and collectors are willing to pay large premiums to add them to their collections. Imagine holding a quarter that might have been struck slightly off-center, so that part of the design is missing, or one where the sword hilt appears doubled because of a die error. These mistakes happen very rarely at the mint, but when they do, the resulting coins become instant treasures. There have been reports of some dramatic errors on the Saratoga quarter selling for hundreds and even over $1,000, especially when authenticated and graded by top service. So if you're searching for your pocket change, rolls of quarters from the bank, or inherited coin collections, make sure to look closely at every 2015 Saratoga quarter you come across. You might be holding something far more valuable than you realize. But beyond the errors, this coin holds great historical value, which adds to its appeal for collectors. The Battle of Saratoga was one of the most decisive victories of the Revolutionary War, convincing France to join the fight as an ally of the American colonies. This alliance helped turn the tide of the war and ultimately led to the birth of the United States. When you look at the 2015 quarter, you're not just holding 25 cents, you're holding a symbol of freedom, perseverance, and the power of a pivotal moment that changed the course of history. Collectors love coins with a strong story, and this one has one of the most compelling narratives of them all. The obverse of the coin carries the familiar image of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, which has been used on the quarter since 1932, though with slight modifications over the years. The inscriptions include United States of America, Liberty, In God We Trust, and the denomination $quarter. The reverse, as we discussed, is a masterpiece of historical art, created by artist Barbara Fox and sculpted by Renata Gordon. Together, the obverse and reverse make this one of the most elegant quarters in the America the Beautiful series. For those who are serious about collecting, it's important to understand the different mint marks that appear on these quarters. The 2015 Saratoga quarter was struck at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, marked with a P, Denver, with a D, and San Francisco, with an S. While the P and D coins were made for general circulation, the S mint quarters were produced for collectors and sold in special sets. The S-Mint coins, especially those in proof condition, can fetch higher prices, particularly if they have been graded PR70, which is a perfect proof grade. These coins often have a deep cameo finish with frosted devices and mirror-like fields that make them visually stunning. Many collectors put together complete sets of America, the beautiful quarters, and the Saratoga quarter is one of the highlights of the 2015 group. It's worth noting that the U.S. Mint also released 5-ounce silver versions of this coin, known as America the Beautiful Silver Bullion Coins. These coins are huge, 3 inches in diameter, and contain 5 troy ounces of 0.999 fine silver. When silver prices rise, these large coins can be worth several $100s just for their bullion value. But some numismatic versions carry additional premiums because of their low mintage and collector demand. If you really want to get the most value out of a Saratoga quarter you own, the best thing you can do is have it graded by a reputable company. Professional grading not only confirms the coin's authenticity, but also provides a standardized condition rating, which makes it much easier to sell at top market value. Coins graded at MS67 or higher can bring strong money at auctions. In fact, in some major auctions, perfectly graded Saratoga quarters have sold for several $100s. A huge return on something that started as just pocket change. So whether you're a seasoned numismatist or someone just starting out in coin collecting, the 2015 Saratoga quarter is an exciting piece to look for. It represents history, artistry, and the thrill of the hunt, the possibility that a simple coin could be worth a small fortune. Make sure to examine yours carefully under good lighting. Check for any unusual features or mint errors, and consider submitting it for grading if you think it's in exceptional condition. You never know, your quarter could turn out to be one of the rare and valuable ones that collectors are fighting to own. And that's what makes this coin so much fun to talk about. It's more than just money. It's a link to our past and a small treasure waiting to be discovered. The next time you get change from a store or pick up a roll of quarters from a bank, keep an eye out for the 2015 British Surrender quarter. It just might be your lucky day. The next up, the 2016 First Doorway to the West Quarter Dollar is one of the most fascinating coins ever released by the United States Mint. And today, we're going to take a deep dive into its history, design, mintage, and what makes certain examples of this coin so valuable that collectors are willing to pay thousands of dollars to own one. This coin belongs to the America the Beautiful Quarters series, which ran from 2010 to 2021. Celebrating national parks and historic sites across the United States. The 2016 First Doorway to the West Quarter specifically honors the Shawnee National Forest in Illinois, but what makes it so special is not just its beautiful design, but also its errors, mint marks, and rare high-grade conditions that drive collectors into a frenzy. The obverse side of the coin, as with all quarters in this series, features the portrait of George Washington, originally designed by John Flanagan in 1932. The reverse side, however, is where the story begins, showing the iconic Camel Rock Formation in the Shawnee National Forest with the surrounding natural beauty, engraved with fine details that make this coin stand out in any collection. To understand the true value of the 2016 First Doorway to the West Quarter, we first need to look at its minting history. The coin was struck at 3 main facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The ones from San Francisco are particularly notable because they were struck as proofs and are often found in collector sets with a mirror-like finish that makes them extremely attractive. But the real excitement comes when you start talking about errors and varieties, those rare mistakes that slip past quality control of the mint and now command incredible premiums in the marketplace. There are examples of 2016 quarters with double dies, off-center strikes, and even coins that were accidentally struck on planchets meant for other denominations. A double die error on this quarter, where the lettering or design appears slightly doubled due to a misalignment during the striking process, can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the clarity of the doubling and the overall condition of the coin. Collectors also pay close attention to the grade of the coin. Professional grading companies like PeaceGS and NGC evaluate coins on the Sheldon scale, which runs from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect, flawless coin. A 2016 first doorway to the West Quarter graded MS-68 or MS-69 is extremely rare because it means the coin has nearly no marks, scratches, or imperfections even under magnification. These high-grade examples are so hard to find because quarters are circulated and used in everyday commerce, meaning they often get scratched or worn down before collectors can grab them. This is why uncirculated rolls or bags of 2016 quarters from the mint are highly sought after they give collectors a chance to find those perfect examples that can be sent in for grading and potentially sold for big profits. Another reason this coin is so popular is because of its place in the larger America, the Beautiful series. Collectors who want to complete the entire set from 2010 to 2021 must have the 2016 first doorway to the West Quarter, which keeps demand strong. Even casual collectors who just love the design of Camel Rock seek out this coin. Some rare varieties include coins with missing clad layers, where the copper core of the coin is exposed, giving it a unique look. Others include strike-through errors, where foreign material accidentally came between the die and the blank, leaving a distinctive mark or impression on the finished coin. Each one of these unique pieces tells a story about the minting process and becomes a conversation starter for collectors and numismatists alike. Auction records for this quarter are impressive. There have been multiple sales where a single 2016 first doorway to the West Quarter fetched more than $1,000 at auction, especially if it was in a top-grade condition or featured a major error. Imagine finding one of these coins in your pocket change and turning it into $1,000 payday. That's why so many people are excited about coin hunting and roll searching. People order boxes of quarters from their banks and go through them one by one, hoping to spot a rare variety, a high-grade coin, or even a proof that somehow entered circulation. When making a 30-minute video about this coin, it's important to really paint a picture of what makes it special, not just list its value. You can talk about the Shawnee National Forest itself, its rich history, and how the coin design captures its natural beauty. You can also explain to viewers how coins are minted, so they understand why certain errors are so rare and valuable. Showing close-up images or video footage of the coin, pointing out its details, and comparing a normal coin with an error variety helps keep the audience engaged. Finally, you should end your video by encouraging viewers to check their own change. Let them know that treasure might be hiding in plain sight, and the 2016 first doorway to the West Quarter could be sitting in their pocket or coin jar right now. Remind them that collecting coins is not just about the money, but also about preserving history and enjoying the thrill of the hunt. With patience, knowledge, and a little bit of luck, they too might find one of the most expensive quarters from this series and join the ranks of collectors who have turned ordinary pocket change into extraordinary discoveries. The next up, the 2017 Ellis Island quarter dollar is one of the most fascinating pieces in the beautiful quarters program. And today we're going to explore what makes this coin so special, why collectors are willing to pay high prices for it, and how you might be able to find one yourself. This coin belongs to the fifth year of the beautiful quarter series, which ran from 2010 to 2021, celebrating national parks and historic sites from every state, territory, and the District of Columbia. Ellis Island was chosen to represent New Jersey, one of the most historically significant places in the United States, as it was the gateway through which millions of immigrants first stepped onto American soil. The design on this quarter is one of the most emotional and symbolic in the entire series, featuring an immigrant family arriving on the island, with the Ellis Island Hospital building visible in the background. This design not only celebrates the history of immigration, but also tells the story of hope, resilience, and the beginning of new lives in America. The 2017 Ellis Island quarter was minted at several locations, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, with different mint marks P, D, and S respectively. There are also special proof and silver proof versions made specifically for collectors. The Philadelphia and Denver quarters are the most common and were struck for circulation, meaning they could end up in your pocket change. The San Francisco quarters, especially the ones in circulation strike, were produced in smaller numbers and sold directly to collectors, making them a little harder to come by. What really makes some of these coins valuable are errors, varieties, and high-grade conditions certified by professional grading services like PCGS and NGC. For instance, if you happen to find a 2017 Ellis Island quarter in mint state 67 or higher, it could be worth far more than face value. Collectors prize coins with no scratches, strong strikes, and beautiful luster, and the highest graded examples are always the ones that bring the highest prices at auction. Some of the most expensive 2017 Ellis Island quarters are those with dramatic mint errors. These can include off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, or even coins struck on the wrong planchet altogether. Double die obverse and reverse coins, where the design appears doubled due to a die misalignment during the minting process, are especially popular among error collectors. These errors are rare, and the rarer the error, the more a collector will be willing to pay. Prices can range from a few $100s to even over $1,000, depending on the severity and eye appeal of the error. Imagine finding a simple quarter in your change and realizing it has a rare doubling on the date or the design. Suddenly you're holding a coin that could fetch a small fortune at auction. Another important factor that drives the value of the Ellis Island quarter is its connection to American history and culture. Ellis Island is not just another national park. It is a symbol of immigration and the American dream. Millions of Americans trace their ancestry back to people who passed through Ellis Island. This strong emotional connection increases demand for the coin, especially among those who are passionate about genealogy, immigration history, or who simply feel proud of their family's journey to America. When a coin has both historical and artistic significance, it becomes more than just money. It becomes a story that people want to own and preserve. Collectors often look for the rarest and finest examples of this coin, and that is where coin grading comes into play. Coins are sent to professional grading services, where experts carefully examine them under magnification to assess their condition. A coin that is graded MS68 or MS69 is considered nearly perfect and can command an impressive price. In auctions, such coins have sold for hundreds of dollars, and in rare cases, depending on population reports and demand, they can go even higher. Proof and silver proof coins in perfect PR70 condition are also extremely collectible. The silver proof versions are made of 90% silver, giving them intrinsic metal value, as well as collectible value. The market for modern quarters is surprisingly strong because more and more people are starting to collect them as a series. With the beautiful program now complete, collectors are trying to build full sets of all 56 designs, including high-grade examples of each. The Ellis Island quarter stands out as one of the more visually striking designs, which means it attracts more attention than some of the others. As demand grows, the value of top-condition coins continues to rise. Even rolls of uncirculated quarters from the U.S. Mint can sell for a premium because they give collectors a chance to search for high-grade examples or errors. When making a YouTube video about this topic, you could show examples of the coin, both circulated and uncirculated, and highlight the differences in detail and luster. You can also talk about how to spot errors by carefully inspecting the lettering, the date, and the main design. Many collectors use a jeweler's loupe or microscope to find doubling or other striking anomalies. Encouraging viewers to check their change or coin rolls from the bank can be exciting because it adds an element of treasure hunting to the hobby. The idea that anyone could find a valuable coin in their pocket change keeps people engaged and excited about coin collecting. Ultimately, the most expensive 2017 Ellis Island quarter is likely to be a combination of rarity, grade, and eye appeal. Whether it's a flawless MS-69 example or a dramatic mint error, these coins represent the best of modern U.S. coinage and a fascinating chapter of American history. For collectors and history enthusiasts alike, the Ellis Island quarter is more than just 25 cents. It's a piece of America's story, a reminder of the millions of people who came to this country seeking a better life, and a symbol of the hope and determination that define the American spirit. If you ever find one in perfect condition or with a rare error, you might just have a valuable treasure in your hands. The next up, the 2018 Cumberland Island quarter dollar from the United States of America. This coin is not just another pocket change curiosity. In some cases, it has become a valuable treasure worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on its rarity, condition, and minting error. If you have one of these quarters lying around, it could be worth checking carefully because you might just have a hidden gem in your possession. We're going to take a deep dive into the story of this quarter, its design, its history, what makes certain examples incredibly valuable, and why collectors all over the world are searching for them. So sit back and get ready for an in-depth exploration into one of the most popular collectible coins from the America, the Beautiful series. The 2018 Cumberland Island quarter is part of the America, the Beautiful series, which was released between 2010 and 2021 to honor national parks and historic sites across the United States. This particular quarter celebrates the Cumberland Island National Seashore in the state of Georgia. Cumberland Island is one of the most beautiful and historically rich barrier islands in the country, known for its pristine beaches, maritime forests, and even wild horses that roam freely across the landscape. The quarter's reverse design features an image of a snowy egret gracefully perched on a branch, with its wings partially spread as if about to take flight. This image is not just a pretty picture. It captures the natural beauty and wildlife diversity of Cumberland Island, symbolizing the preservation of this fragile ecosystem. The obverse of the coin, like all quarters of this series, carries the familiar profile of George Washington, the first president of the United States. Designed by John Flanagan, when this coin was released in 2018, millions of them entered circulation from the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. At first glance, most people who found them in change saw them as just another quarter. But for collectors, the thrill of the hunt was on. They knew that certain special versions and errors could make this coin worth far more than its face value. The most expensive examples of the 2018 Cumberland Island quarter are those that have either been preserved in the highest possible mint state condition, meaning they are flawless under magnification, or those that feature rare minting errors that make them one-of-a-kind collectibles. Some of these error coins have fetched astonishing prices at auctions, turning what was once a 25-cent coin into a treasure worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Let's talk about the minting process and why errors happen. Quarters are mass-produced in huge quantities, with billions of coins being struck each year. The dies that stamp the design onto the metal can sometimes misalign, crack, or even strike the wrong planchet, which is the blank piece of metal used to make the coin. In the case of the Cumberland Island quarter, some of the rarest and most expensive errors include off-center strikes, double dies where parts of the design appear doubled, and even wrong planchet errors where the quarter design was accidentally struck on a nickel or dime planchet, resulting in a coin that is smaller or thinner than normal. These kinds of mint errors are highly sought after by collectors because they are so rare. Each one is essentially unique, And that uniqueness drives the price up dramatically when they appear at auction. Another factor that makes some 2018 Cumberland Island quarters so valuable is their grade. Professional grading companies like PCGS and NGC carefully examine coins and assign them a grade on a 70-point scale. A coin that grades MS 70 or Mint State 70 is considered perfect with no visible flaws even under magnification. Only a very tiny fraction of coins ever achieve this grade, and collectors are willing to pay a premium for them. In some cases, a perfectly preserved Cumberland Island quarter in MS 70 has sold for several $100s, which is already a huge jump from its face value. But if that coin also happens to have a rare mint mark, such as one from the San Francisco Mint in a special proof strike with a deep cameo finish, its value can climb even higher. One of the most exciting stories in recent years involved a Cumberland Island quarter that sold at a major auction for a surprisingly high price because of its dramatic minting error. This particular coin featured a significant off-center strike, where nearly a third of the design was missing and the blank planchet was visible on one side. For error collectors, this kind of coin is like striking gold, and when it came up for auction, bidding was intense. The final hammer price shocked many casual collectors. What had started life as an ordinary 25-cent coin ended up selling for over $1,000. This story inspired many people to start looking more closely at their change. Hoping to find a similar treasure, collectors also look for other small details that can make a Cumberland Island quarter special. Things like dyed chips, cuds, or cracks in the metal can create unique features on a coin that make it different from all others. Even a tiny die crack that creates an unusual line across the coin can be enough to catch a collector's attention and add a premium to its value. In this way, every coin becomes a tiny work of art with its own personality and story. What makes the Cumberland Island quarter so appealing is that it is both beautiful and accessible. Anyone can find one in their pocket change, but only a few lucky people will come across the rarest and most valuable versions. This makes it a perfect example of why coin collecting remains such a popular hobby. There's the thrill of the hunt, the joy of discovering something rare, and the possibility of turning a simple coin into a valuable collectible. If you are curious whether you might have a valuable Cumberland Island quarter, there are a few things you can do. Start by carefully examining your coin under good lighting or with a magnifying glass. Look for any unusual features like doubling, misaligned strikes, or areas where the design seems incomplete. Check the coin's overall condition. The fewer scratches, nicks, or signs of wear, the better. If you think your coin might be valuable, consider having it graded by a professional service. This will not only tell you its exact grade, but also authenticate it, which is important if you plan to sell it to a serious collector. The market for these coins remains strong, with collectors continuing to seek out the best examples. As time goes by and more of these coins are lost to circulation or damaged, the surviving high-quality examples will likely become even more valuable. This is why many collectors are holding on to their best Cumberland Island quarters as a long-term investment. Who knows? A coin that sells for a few $100s today might sell for thousands a few decades from now, so next time you receive a handful of change, take a closer look. That ordinary-looking 2018 Cumberland Island quarter might be hiding a secret that could make it one of the most valuable coins in your collection. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and treasures are still waiting to be discovered. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just someone curious about what makes a coin valuable, the story of the Cumberland Island quarter is a perfect example of how a small piece of change can connect history, art, and the thrill of discovery all in one.